It's important for people to know there are resources for those needing to escape a violent relationship. Riley Nagel tells us about the help that is available.
Domestic violence is about power and control, and so the abuser will use different types of means to control an individual.
Carmen Hudson is the director of Victim Support Systems for Partnership and says an abuser looking for that power and control can act violently, withhold money from the victim, threaten to kill them, or take away their children, and they can end up increasing these efforts if they feel like they're losing control over that person.
And sometimes that means it becomes murder or suicide. We always tell people the most dangerous time for an individual in a domestic violence situation is when they're about to leave.
Hudson explains that Tennessee ranks 10th in the nation for men killing women and 6th in the nation when it comes to domestic-related homicides. Through their 24/7 domestic violence crisis hotline, they took more than 1,000 calls last year. Through their variety of resources, served more than 1,700 victims.
So anybody who finds themselves in that type of situation can call and get assistance immediately.
She says a domestic violence relationship typically happens slowly over time with a repeating cycle of a honeymoon phase followed by a violent blow-up. Hudson says the victim oftentimes will not be aware they're in a dangerous situation, believing the person has changed.
They feel a lot of shame for not being able to identify that, and so they don't want to come forward and tell people what's happening in their lives.
The signs Hudson recommends friends or family to look out for is if the victim starts to withdraw themselves or if their partner appears to be hovering over them and is hyper aware of who they're communicating with and what they're saying. She says it's important to let them know it's safe to speak with you.
Because a lot of times that is what's going to help them get out of the situation. Because otherwise, if they don't have that support, they don't know what to do or where to go when they're ready to leave.
Partnership also provides emergency housing and transportation for victims and their children. Hudson wants anyone in a domestic violence relationship to know that there are people who want to help you.
Taking that first step, I know, is really hard, and it takes a lot of courage. But there are people who are willing to support them, and we just need them to make that phone call in order to get the help.
For Local 3 News, I'm Riley Nagel.